Hi, my name is Francis Bonsu, and this is going to be a short video about some items. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about what testing is and artifacts and tools that I'm familiar with or I use or I know, test case examples, and test scripts and test runs. What are they? So, to begin with, I know testing is very broad and there's no ending to testing in any other phase. One thing I also know for sure is that testing should begin as soon as possible, as soon as developing of a particular software also begins. Because when it happens like that, it works hand in hand. Because it's not now that you have to complete the software, then you give it to testers to test for them to find issues. If it happens like that, the issues they might find, fixing it will cost more and it will delay the deployment of the software. I also know that software or testing it comes in so many aspects or forms or types, such as the smoke testing, regression, the stress, acceptance testing, and all those that comes in. But in definition or by simple meaning of how I understand it, I understand testing to be examining or executing artifacts and then tools to either for validation, for verification, and for verification purposes, with the intent of maybe discovering bugs or making a software or an app or a system better. So that's how I know software testing to be. And I've been doing testing for almost 5 years or 5 years now. And in this period, I've come across some tools and gadgets that I've become familiar or conversant with. Such tools that I've become familiar or artifacts I've become familiar with include a tool like Jmeter, which can be used for performance testing and stress testing. So it's very important to to use this tool to if you want to know how your website will fare and be performed on the how do you call it, on the market. Example, when a lot of users are on the page, how is the page going to handle them? How's the website, how's the back end going to handle them? So I've come to know JMeter, which has become very useful. So this is a typical interface of a JMeter interface. And over here, the first interface you see is your test plan. So you create your test plan. If you want to add comments, you can change this name. And then from there, you add your thread group. So under the thread group, you have your HTTP request. If you can also add other features to your like say timer, sessions, and other things that you want to test. But then, since it's going to be a short video, I just go ahead and then add my table. So to test a particular maybe website that has been developed. This is a page I'm going to test, ghanaweb.com, and this is the page here. This is the page. So this is a typical web page. So to test the things, if all aspects of this interface works right, you just have to key in your features and what you want, and then just click on that and start. As it begins, you can see it's loading here. With this, developers, yes, will be able to analyze to see if there was any error or something like that. So, for example, let me say I want to find an issue here, and then maybe I add how do you call it? Maybe HTTP accession, and then so let me clear my result. So I then hit okay. So as it begins to load up, so with this, if when sent to an engineer, we'll be able to analyze that in the HTTP accession, there are some things which are missing. So he or she will be able to say, okay, when you are setting, you have to make changes to or add some value to maybe change this image to auto or to straight or to loose, or change it from HTML to XML. So this is a tool I have become used to. And then also, I've also become used to X-ray, which I do know X-ray to be a tool where testers or people can use to test a web page and record it whilst they do it. So it's not been now that when you finish, you then come to sit down and have a play of everything you have done. But then this tool enables you to use almost everything or do everything you want to do and still record it, either in a video form or audio or just going through the web page. I was also become conversant or used to this app, that's a Q test app. It can be used for manual testing and also for automating testing. So, for example, this is a typical interface of maybe something for myself. So, over here, we have the functional test. It enables companies or team to release softwares based on versions or yes, or into steps. So, this is an example of a video session, maybe of a particular web page, and these are the test cases or test items I have to follow. So I'll just come here to the page and then I'll follow. I know that I have to do this. And then afterwards, what are my expected results? Maybe fail. If I have to give a reason, I give a reason. If not, I just put it here, pass or fail. And yeah, so I'm also familiar with these two also. The next tool or artifact I'm also familiar with is Jira, the use of Jira for submitting issues and bugs. I'm also familiar with Baxilia and Xrail, and maybe if any other, that's TFX, that's by Microsoft's platform. So over here, people who have access can submit, see projects, see issues submitted, and follow and track the progress of the issue they have submitted. Has it been changed from submitted to in progress to fixed and then to close? With this, testers will be able to follow in a sequential manner the issues they have submitted on Jira. You also, yes, so like I was saying, these tools I'm familiar with, and then here, and Excel and spreadsheet also help you to keep track of what is happening. So the next on the item it's test case example. I did this. I came to realization about this is a typical test case scenario of or a test case, example test case of Chrome on Chrome browser. So browser on what on Android. So or even iOS. So over here you have your test items of maybe the test case ID, your test scenario description, your preconditions, your testing steps, your expected results, your actual results, your tester, the date we tested, if a date is required, put it there. If a version is required, put it there. So if comment is also if you want to add comment, you can also add comment. So you can say it takes a long time to open Chrome. So when you click to open, so this is a typical example of a test case of how it's supposed to be. So for example, on this first item here, we have the first one is open Chrome. So when you open Chrome, the precondition is what is expected for you to have or you should do before. So before you open Chrome, you have to make sure that you are connected to internet. So that becomes my precondition. So there you go to your testing steps. That is where you should start from. So you have to click or open Chrome from the desktop, and then when it opens for you, you should see it here as you can see, and then expected result. When you click to open from the desktop, did it open? Did it crash or anything like that? So this is expected result. And then you come to the actual result after opening from the desktop. What actually happened? Did it pass? Did it fail? Was it any or like were you blocked from opening? So you also have your actual results. And the tester, the name, is it who tested it, who found the issue, the date, any version required, you also do it. And then you also have the comments section. So this is a typical example of a test case that I know or I'm familiar with that I did or I know or my definition of how test case should look like. The next on the item is test script and then test run. So This is an example, a typical example of a test script. So this test script here is to test users about how they should or they can manage users. So this is a typical test for a login interface. So what, for example, using automated tools like maybe Selenium and other tools that enables users to test on automated aspects. This is a typical example of it. So you enter these options over here. This is what is expected to do. So this test script is just to test how do you call it, a login interface, or to see how it will appear or to show up. So this becomes that of it in this aspect. uh, yes, so this is an example of a test script. And the test run, my what I do know test run to be is you executing your test script or your test case. That is, like for example, in this over here, you have your executed test runs. These ones becomes my cases. So me running the test cases step by step, per my understanding, becomes my test run. You also have your properties, where the type of testing you're doing, is it functional, non-functional? Is it smoke testing? Is it stress testing? Is it regression or whatever testing you're doing? The start date and the end date, the environment. Um, is it web browser on a desktop or web browser or on Android or tablet or iOS device? So the person that is assigned to, like what I was talking about in on Jira, that one becomes your sequential test run, or you executing specific test cases or script in that aspect. So, and yes, that's what I can say in this video. Thank you very much, and see you.